What are some of your favorite advanced training techniques, and how often do you incorporate them in your overall training plan? For myself, when I reflect back on my journey, I realized like 10 to 15 years ago, I used to throw the entire kitchen sink at my workout programs. Exercise number one may do 8 sets of 8. Exercise number two, drop sets. Exercise number three, rest pause sets. Then next month, I'd swap out those advanced training techniques for different ones. Maybe beginning exercise number one with every minute on the minute. Exercise number two, mechanical advantage supersets. Exercise number three might be squeeze sets. Then 7 to 8 years ago, I kind of realized, you know what, that's likely overkill. I'm just going to stick with one advanced training technique per workout and maybe throw in some training phases where there's no advanced training technique in there whatsoever. Then during the past 3 years, really realized, you know what, a lot of those advanced training techniques really aren't serving me well and really not the kind of benefits that I was thinking I was gaining from them, especially with some of the current research. We've been told like years ago, all we knew was that mechanical tension was a driving force of muscle gains, muscle fatigue, and metabolic stress. We're now realizing kind of metabolic stress and muscle fatigue aren't so much as an important driver as mechanical tension. And when it comes to mechanical tension, you want to make sure that you are lifting some challenging loads and you're giving yourself an adequate amount of rest between sets so you can take advantage of putting forth your best effort, lifting the maximum amount of weight possible for the maximum number of reps possible. So realizing that some of my favorite advanced training techniques in the past, like 8 sets of 8, where I'd only rest about 15 seconds between each set there, using a lighter weight, it was a fun way to start off my workout. Like those first 4 sets were easy. 5th set got challenging, 6th set more challenging, 7th and 8th set, it was really tough to get those 8 reps in there. It was a great pump. It was a great way to get a mind-muscle connection with that target muscle leading up to the other exercises that were following it there. And it's just fun. It's just fun to work it in there. But again, realizing, you know what, fun is great, but it really wasn't producing the benefits based on the research. And again, as I always say, I take research with a grain of salt. Like I don't think we have enough studies here, really detailed studies. There's so many limitations with all of these studies to really truly tell us which one of these advanced training techniques are best for us. And even when it comes to like supersets, it's tough to kind of work that in a gym setting there. You don't want to occupy 2 machines there. Every minute on the minute, again, was a fun little strategy there, just back and forth between 2 exercises. Maybe it was like pull-ups and a bench press. Again, taking up 2 pieces of equipment. You could use the same squat rack if you wanted to there. So you do a bench press, rest for a minute, do actually as soon as not even resting for a minute, because if it takes you 40 seconds to do the bench press, then you'd have about 20 seconds to rest before you hit your pull-ups. Do your pull-ups. As soon as that minute hits, you're doing your bench press again. So really realizing, again, a fun strategy, but really not getting the adequate amount of rest necessary to maintain like a challenging load and with the proper amount of repetitions. Every once in a while, it's nice. Like mechanical advantage supersets, I throw in once in a while. Like say you're doing a cable fly, you reach that point of true momentary muscular failure, you just do a cable chest press afterwards. That's one that I'll still work in there. But I find that a lot of the training techniques, advanced training techniques I used to use in the past, I just don't really utilize them as much anymore. I don't find the benefits that they used to have anymore. So the ones that I'm sticking with, the ones that are most important to me right now, number one, I would say is loaded stretching. That's my favorite advanced training technique. We're getting more and more research that's coming out on that. For the past few years, I mean, we've had some research. Really, the research dates back over 20 years ago. Dr. Jose Antonio, it was like with quails, I think the birds, they strap weights to the wings there and just showing the muscle gains from that loaded stretch. And then we started seeing in the gym studies where it was on the calf press where they did loaded stretching on there, and I think it's like double the muscle gains. I'm not sure how reliable that study was, but started recognizing that there are benefits to it, and we started seeing more studies that were showing the advantages on strengthening the muscle tendons, which is really important for especially us men over 40 like myself, 47 years young here. So you want to have strong muscle tendons as well as the muscles themselves and protecting your joints. And they showed that with loaded stretching, there's a releasing growth hormone as well, as with all stretching there, but really showing an advantage to that. But we're seeing more and more evidence to support loaded stretching. So basically the final rep of your set, you just hold it in the stretch position. So maybe you're doing an incline dumbbell bicep curl and you get done and you hold it in a stretch position, kind of open up the shoulders a little bit, just let those arms relax back. I love like a dumbbell bench press, you just hold it in the stretch position. You're trying to hold it for as long as you can while keeping tension on the target muscle. So if you're in the dumbbell bench press, position there. You want to try to keep the tension away from the shoulders as much as possible and feel it across the pec. So that's probably one of my favorite, if not the favorite, advanced training technique that I will incorporate in my training plan often. The other one would be like a nice slow negative on the final repetition. You can do that on every single set of every single exercise. I don't think that's a training strategy that you can overdo, because the negative portion, the eccentric portion of the movement is where we are actually strongest. So when you reach that point of true momentary muscular failure with the contraction, the concentric portion of the movement, you still have lots of strength in the eccentric. So really slowing it down, that especially on that final repetition, and really slow and controlled, feeling the tension again on that target muscle, is a fantastic way to extend that set safely. And again, a technique that you can utilize all the freaking time. I love it. Now, one of the advanced training techniques that I will throw in every few months or so, drop sets, probably my favorite. Like it's a fantastic technique that you just pick one exercise at the workout, usually the last one, and you just go down that rack. And I usually do like triple drop sets. Sometimes I'll just keep going and just burn that muscle out, take it safely beyond that point of true momentary muscular failure. So really, at the finishing off a body part, that final exercise, final set, that's when I'll throw in a drop set there. The next month I might swap that out for a rest pause set. So after completing the third set, rest for about 10 seconds or so, do as many more reps as you can with that same weight. Rest for 10 seconds or so, do as many reps as you can. Rest for 10 seconds, do as many more reps as you can, until you can only basically do singles there. So I love just keep continuing that and pushing it hard. A great way to really, again, safely take that muscle beyond the point of true momentary muscular failure. I find like some exercises, if it's a dumbbell bench press, it can be tough to throw that weight up there. Or, just certain exercises are going to be more challenging. So like machines are really handy when it comes to advanced training techniques like that. So mechanical advantage supersets I'll throw in every once in a while, but a lot of times I just really gravitate towards simple straight sets. I just been finding that recently, especially this past year, I'm embracing simplicity with my training for the most part there. And I just love straight sets, just giving the best of myself to each and every set that I perform. And again, throwing in some of the loaded stretching or the slow negative rather than a drop set or an extended rest pause. I just find that the simplicity it's resonating with me at this time. I just find I'm able to give my best focus, my best attention. I rest as long as I need to fully recover between sets, and I just give my best to it. I'm not thinking of trying to throw any kind of trick or challenge my body in a different way. Like that set in and of itself is enough to challenge my body. And just every once in a while throwing in a little twist in there. But I don't know. A lot of times I'm just really feeling that simplicity, straight sets, and just focusing on that mechanical tension, like giving the best of myself, being able to lift as much as I possibly can, keeping that load high, doing the maximum amount of reps that I can while resting and giving myself, like there's times, some exercise I'm resting for 4, sometimes 5 minutes between sets in order to fully recover so I can give the best of myself to that movement. It's so different from the past for me. I look at my watch, all right, 90 seconds is up, boom, I got to get at this right now. If it was like a hypertrophy workout exercise that back then I thought 60 seconds, like shorter rest period was best for hypertrophy, I'd like hurry things up, try to get 60 seconds in and do that next set there. And really realizing that you have to like kind of decrease the load or you're not getting anywhere near the reps that you want. So like total volume tends to suffer in that regards. But yeah, I just find like it's great to embrace that added rest. And I reflect back, I used to kind of judge people for sitting there on a machine resting for 4 or 5 minutes between sets. Of course, I like playing on their phone and everything. Whereas now today I try to like make conversation, fist pump, encourage others, build others up, and get myself focused on the next set. Like really motivate myself to really crush that next set. So really embracing that rest period between there and taking advantage of that time, that opportunity, just allowing myself to fully recover, maybe a little gentle stretching in between there. The muscles are kind of primed for a little bit of a stretch there. So again, simplicity and really just sticking with a few core advanced training techniques that some I'll sprinkle in from time to time, like the drop sets, the rest pause sets, and some I'll incorporate more often. The loaded stretching or the slow negatives are some of my favorite techniques I will incorporate. Because again, like in partials, I'd say partials is another one. I love certain exercises, like a lateral raise, just finishing your finishing up, you get the full range, and then it gets shorter, 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 shorter. You're just trying to give everything that you got there, working in that shorter range of motion as you're going, just knowing that there's nothing left in the tank afterwards. So keeping things simple with that. I would love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite advanced training techniques? Are there some that you used to do that you no longer do? Why did you stop incorporating them in there, and what ones have you started adding in more, or are you embracing simplicity as myself? I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this subject. Please take a moment to share them down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, your insights, share your feedback on today's topic. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, please do me a favor and share it with them. More than anything, before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Lose Fat, Get Jacked. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.